Hi and welcome to week 10 of the I Formation. I'm Jeff Gibbons.
And I'm John Moist.
And here we are, folks, sailing along in this into November now. All games matter, as they always do. We're going to do a quick recap this week of what we think is going to happen in the NFL, and I think that we're going to disagree on 5 this week, unless you've changed your mind
5,
again.
I believe.
I believe it's 5. Yeah. So let's get right to it, eh? Let's look at it. Starting with our early week game, we got Cleveland going into Baltimore. What do you think of that?
Cleveland might keep it closer than what you think because this is a divisional game, but still Baltimore got much better defense on this one. Cleveland's allowed 30 points a game this year.
You got to wonder when the shoe's going to drop, though, John. Someone out there somewhere is going to trip. Yeah. The Dolphins almost did it early in the season, and that might have been the closest their thumb. But I agree, Baltimore too. I'm thinking 7 points.
Yeah, sounds about right.
All right, man. Let's go. Minnesota going into Washington to play the Redskins. Are we allowed to say the Redskins? I don't know, just wanted to ask that. Yeah. And amazing. Do we still both agree on this one?
Redskins, yes.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins at home. Looking at the stats.
Yeah, and the way Minnesota's offense has been playing, it's just been horrible. I mean, they're after losing 3 in a row now. And
2 comments going in different directions, on a collision course. I think that, right for
coming off a bye, healthy, decent
Absolutely.
defense there. Yeah.
Yep.
Washington it is by 7 again.
Okay. Yeah. I agree with you. Next we got Denver at New Orleans in the Big Easy. And this is, are we still going with the way we were saying here? This is the Broncos fan. And I'm picking the Denver Broncos to go into New Orleans and to come up with a big road win here, because they have not played as well as they could have defensively. They're plagued with some injuries. I just think that they're going to dig deep here and they're going to play a complete game against New Orleans, and basing the fact on the fact that Simeon and these guys are going to go in there against that New Orleans defense, and they're just going to make this happen. I think that they hold them off enough to keep Drew Brees in check at home, and they win this game. I'm going to say it's close, 23-20.
Okay. Oh, God, it kills me to do this, especially since he's gone with my Broncos, but I'm going to go against my Broncos for the first time, second time this year, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, I think I went against them in week 1, and they won. So hopefully they'll win again. I'll be watching the game. I'll be rooting for my Broncos, but my pick is with my head, I think, and I got to go with the Saints. 4-1 their last 5 games, second highest scoring offense in the NFL, and just because Denver will not have a keep the lead back for this one. They're on a bye next week, so they're resting him this week, get him fully healthy for the bye, and they just lost Eric Wolf for 3 to 4 weeks too, which is another big bang on their defense. They're hurt too bad, and I'm afraid that I'm going to have to go with the Saints here by 6. Hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think you are. Anyway, next we got Houston going into Jacksonville to play the Jaguars, and we both agree on this one, I think.
Nope.
Oh, he changed his mind again.
No. Remember, I told you earlier I was picking the Jags.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
You did. Anyway, I just think Houston plays a complete good road game here against Jacksonville, even in that heat, and I think they win this close. This is going to be a good defensive game, I think. But 2 defenses there that'll keep this a low-scoring affair. I'm thinking picking the under, and I'm going to say a field goal.
Yeah, a lot of ground game here on both teams. You're going to see a lot going on the ground. But I do like Jacksonville's receivers, Robinson, Hearns, and with Mercedes Lewis and Thomas as their tight ends. And I think it's about time for Jacksonville to upset Houston here. Houston traditionally has owned them. And I might be the only person in the world actually picking the Jags in this game. I don't know. Not very many are. But I think the Jags are going to hang tough. Big game here on defense for Paul Pasluzny. And is that how you pronounce it?
Hanging tough? I'm still not past that, man. What are you, new kids on the block? Oh my God.
Yeah, well, they're gonna hang in there, and they're going to come out with a field goal in the 4th quarter and get the win here. Picking the Jags.
All right, man. All right.
Hanging tough.
All right. Whoa. Fire truck.
Yeah.
Speaking of fire trucks, Fireman Ed's gone now, but the Rams are in to play the New York Jets this week. And actually, we're both agreeing on this one now, or have you changed your mind again? I'm going with the Jets here.
I'm going with Jets.
Okay. Yeah, and it's just, I guess, the 4 letters that come to mind here right now are W, G, A, and F. to be honest with you. Yeah, we this was a coin toss, and to be honest with you, neither one of these teams are really playing very well over this last few weeks. And Jets at home.
Both teams.
They find a way to fumble less.
Both teams decent defense and no offense. Jets got Forte, Rams got Gurley, maybe a little bit on the ground here. Close game, Jets win. I'm picking the Jets because when I flipped a coin, it came up tails. So there you go.
T-A-I-L, tail.
Yeah.
Oh no, there goes the NSW. Next we got Chicago, Tampa Bay. And are we disagreeing on this one? Or are we both picking Chicago?
No, I'm going Tampa.
Okay. I just think Chicago comes up with a good road game here. You know what? It's I think Cutler is going to put this together. Tampa Bay hasn't impressed me.
No, neither has Chicago impressed me.
Neither
team has impressed me.
No. I think Cutler makes this happen.
I can see Winston getting the ball out there to Mike Evans a couple times and making a couple of big plays to be the difference in this ball game. Close game, Bucks by 3.
Okay. Next we got Green Bay at Tennessee. A very different Tennessee Titans team this year.
Yes.
And a very different Green Bay Packers team can be argued as well. Yeah. This week, Brett Favre calling out Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers calling out his offense. I just think there's way too much on the table here now for Aaron Rodgers not to turn the corner. I think that Green Bay goes into Tennessee and comes up with a really solid game. And I think they play well on both sides of the ball here. And Green Bay wins on the road.
Yeah, and certainly, as you said earlier, with Minnesota struggling, that division becomes more wide open for Green Bay to make a push and actually win that division this year. Rodgers has to break out sometime. I thought he was going to last week, and he ended up losing to the Colts, which was a shock to me because I really didn't think the Colts secondary was going to be able to keep up with them. But this week, I believe they have Randall Cobb back in, and that's going to make the difference right there. I expect a big game from him, and I expect Green Bay to win this one by a touchdown.
Okay. Next, we got Kansas City at Carolina to play the Panthers. And you got Kansas City have won 4 straight, looking good. But the Alex Smith thing, and they're really not generating a lot of offense. Not like they could.
No, they had trouble last week with the Jags.
Carolina have won 2 straight and seem to have played much better.
Defense playing very well.
Much better. And, you know, the X Factor in Cam Newton. I think at home, they beat Kansas City. And I'm going to say that this is a 10-point game. Because I feel that they're going to get in a groove. They're going to find ways to get out and stretch that field, and Newton has a big show. I'm going to say he runs one in.
Okay, I'm going to say Jonathan Stewart has a big game here. And I think that both teams have great defenses. Both teams have great coaches. This is a big coach matchup here where Reed against Rivera. And 2 of the better coaches right now in the NFL, I would think. But I really like the way Carolina's defense has been playing these last couple of weeks. And I like Carolina to win this one as well.
All right. Next, we got the Falcons in Philadelphia to play the Eagles. This is Matt Ryan's hometown.
Yeah.
And Atlanta has been a really solid team this year. Julio Jones is having a year.
Yes.
I think that he's going to continue. He has a big game in here. We're going to see a lot of balls in the air. Philadelphia keeps this close, I think, because of what I've always said about Philadelphia, and that's the special teams aspect. And they've just played well on both sides of the ball from a special teams perspective. I think that they can keep it close, but Atlanta's just got too much going on.
Oh, Atlanta's a great road team for them. One on the road, I think they share. And Philadelphia hasn't lost a game at home, but I think this is going to be their first one. Too much offense. I didn't like the look at Philadelphia last week. Their defense missed a lot of plays. Their coaching was awful. They left 6 points. They lost the game by 5 points. They left 6 points on the board by going for it, and 4th down and not getting it twice when they could have had 2 chip shot field goals. They could have won the game. The coaching lost it and some defensive miscues that were there. But Atlanta is a high-powered offense, and I think they're going to have they're going to put up a lot of yards in this one.
I think so.
I expect Atlanta to get up close to 500 yards.
Philadelphia could put a lot of yards on the board too here, and I think a lot of points. So this I would take the over here.
Shootout. Yeah.
Absolutely. Good. Next we got Miami. My Dolphins going into San Diego to play the Chargers, and I don't know if we're going to agree on this one or not, but San Diego is always they've given Miami trouble whenever they're playing, and maybe if they're not playing, from a wild card perspective, I remember that big that crazy setup where I think Miami lost both games. It was 3 years ago, missed the playoffs because San Diego had the 8th tiebreaker, whatever it was. But they tend to be in the mix quite a bit, and they're similar from a ranking perspective. Miami has looked very good on both sides of the ball over the last few weeks. They've won 3 straight, and got a bolstering today actually for their defense. Earl Campbell coming off of IR, defensive tackle. So that's another little push for them for Sunday. They're not afraid of the heat out there in San Diego. Of course, it's a West Coast trip, so that always impacts teams because that's a big shift, Miami to San Diego. But Jay Ajayi has emerged as a very strong running back, and giving a running game to Miami, which is not something they've had for a long time.
No.
And nearly 500 yards over the last 3 games. Or actually over 500 yards. He was bottled up for 111, I think it was last week, and that was his worst. Now he had a rushing touchdown with that. Still very, very impressive. So expect Ajayi to get the ball a lot, and clock management is going to be a key here for Miami. I think that they can go out and they can keep the ball out of Phillip Rivers' hands. Plus, you're going to have to rely on this defensive, the pass rush of Miami. They're going to have to get in Rivers' face. The secondary is still a little bit suspect. The corners, they've been having trouble out there all year. But I think the guys up front, the Wakes of the world and the Ndamukong Suhs, I think that they keep Rivers in check. And that and the clock management, I give this to Miami 4 points.
Okay, I'm going to go the other way with San Diego. I think in this game it's going to be a close one. San Diego has scored more points than any other team in the AFC, high-powered offense there. And Miami does not travel well, not a very good road team. San Diego is a good home team. That's another strike against Miami there. Miami certainly has found balance on the offense, though, for the first time in a long. And geez, how long has it been since they've had a balance, a running back?
I don't even want to get into that conversation because I think about, there's always been one or the other. Yeah. That's what it seems like, and I go back right back to Marino and go back into the 90s for that. But
they found some balance there, and I think that San Diego is going to plan to stop Miami's running game with the way that Ajayi has been playing, and given that it's going to open up some more looks for probably Jarvis Landry. I expect him to have a big game. But I expect San Diego's Melvin Gordon to get some yards on the ground. San Diego by a field goal in this.
Just a couple of other notes you said about you mentioned about Jarvis Landry. Mm-hmm. Tannehill came out this week and made a statement that Landry needs to find the balance between playing hard and with emotion and letting his emotions getting out of check. Oh. That was an interesting kind of a call from your own quarterback. We had just another fun factoid. San Diego blew, in the first 4 weeks of the season, I think they blew 3 fourth-quarter leads, and Miami is a stronger team in the second half.
2 of those games by 1 point.
Yeah. So, anyway, it'll be a great game to watch. I think it's going to be close back and forth, but so we see that it's going to be close one way or the other. Next, we've got Dallas going into Pittsburgh to play the Steelers, and I don't know where you've gone on this one. I'm going to ask again. I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers at home here. I don't think Ben Roethlisberger is lame at all at this point. He didn't look so great last week. It was a little early for him to come back. It's hard to keep a man like Roethlisberger off the field. I think he's ready to go. If he wasn't that close, he would have played last week. I think he comes up with a big game at home. Look for them to ground and pound this against that Dallas run defense. Le'Veon Bell is going to have a big game, I think, at least establishing the run, and look for Roethlisberger to look for his favorite target, Brown, outside. I think I saw Jesse James last week drop a couple of balls shouldn't have happened. I think, maybe he gets another shot. Who knows? But there was a lot that went wrong in that Pittsburgh game last week with Roethlisberger playing. And I think it was obvious he was injured. I think they surprised Dallas here. I think Dallas, 7-1 or 8-1? 7-1? 8-1.
7-game winning streak, right?
Yeah, well...
They lost week 1 to Giants.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're a solid 7-1. I don't want to take away from the Dallas fans here. They're definitely in a different place, with Ezekiel Elliott this year and Dak Prescott. But I think it's time for them to be humbled by a team that have a lot of playoff experience and have a lot of good balance. And I think that team is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to say that they win this at home this week by a touchdown.
Okay, well, I really think Dallas is a true 7-1 team. Even their defense has only allowed under 18 points per game. Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott are both candidates for Rookie of the Year. Ezekiel Elliott arguably is also a candidate for MVP. And it's all because of this offensive line that Dallas have, and allowing Prescott and Ezekiel to do their things. And Pittsburgh's still hurting a bit on defense there, not completely healthy, and they're going to be facing the best offensive line in the game. I see what you say. Roethlisberger rarely loses 2 in a row, especially coming off a loss and playing at home. Pittsburgh certainly, I was back and forth on this one. I just think until Pittsburgh shows me that they're ready to beat a big team like Dallas, I can't go with them. So I'm going to pick Dallas here in a close game, high score.
All right.
And hope I'm wrong.
All right. Next, we've got the Seattle Seahawks in Gillette to play the New England Patriots. This game is the late game on Sunday and much anticipated. I know that it's the Super Bowl rematch from 2 years ago. We all know what happened in the last play of that game.
They should have gave it to Marshawn Lynch. That's what happened.
Well, you know what? Pete Carroll said it was all on him. And when you look at the stats, it wasn't a bad call to begin with. It's just that the ball was poorly thrown. But getting over that and getting past that, New England says that they'll be able to handle the Seattle Seahawks. Brady and these guys are confident that they can beat this team. This is a team that's been in the weeds all season long, and traditionally, like I said earlier in the season, start slow offensively and build. They've had trouble. Thomas Rawls being injured. The running game has been suspect for them. That puts a lot of pressure on Russell Wilson to perform. I think that they need to look and fire on all cylinders defensively this week against a Patriots team that's very, very strong. Receiving core and LeGarrette Blount running the ball. I just think that they need to play a complete game to even keep this close in New England. I'm going to say that they do. They come up with a great road game, but I think that New England wins this, and I'm going to say that it's a field goal game, despite the fact that it looks like a mismatch in some respects on paper. I'm going to say that this is one of the closest games of the week, and it's going to be a heck of a game to watch. 3 points, New England Patriots.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to be a big blowout, high-scoring game either. New England puts a lot of points on the board, but Seattle's pretty good at limiting teams too as well. I see this game as a battle of the defenses. Now, the difference here being that Seattle's offensive line hasn't been that good, and this is why the running game is suffering. But I think that I also think that Seattle will keep this game close. I think it's probably a lot lower scoring than what you might think. Probably 40 points combined with both teams at the most. So I like New England as well, and I'm going to agree. I'm going to say a field goal. That's just
New England Patriots 17, Seattle Seahawks 14.
not bad.
That's the call. And finally, we got the Monday Nighter, Cincinnati Bengals going into play the New York Football Giants. How do you make of this?
Giants are playing really well. But,
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And, when was the last time we were able to say that with any amount of frequency?
Put a lot of money into their defense in the offseason.
Sure, yeah.
Now, at the beginning of the season, if you would have asked me who was going to win this game, I would have went Bengals all the way.
Mm-hmm.
But
And the Bengals have started to slip. It's another situation where you've got a team that's surging one way and a team that's dropping and skyrocketing the other way. I think that, it's just at home. Eli Manning, everything works And I don't think it's a blowout. I think it's probably a 7-point game.
Yeah, at the most.
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything big. Andy Dalton, prime time, not very good either.
No, there's that.
Yeah.
You know, and certainly, I can't believe that we got through this whole thing and never mentioned the election once, which is kind of cool.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of cool. And
Yeah.
well, actually, you were talking or you were going on about it before I stared
Well.
at the camera. So
Yeah, what, to Bill Belichick and Tom Brady
yes,
endorsing Trump.
yes.
Why don't you just go up and kiss his ass?
Oh, okay. Now, come on now. Come on. Listen, we've all got to unite. Okay, we're united. We're uniting. You know, it's all good.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Good luck with it.
That's right. Yeah. We're going to build a ball. And you're going to pay for it. That's the way we see it this week, folks. We want you to come up on our Facebook page and tell us how you feel about all these things. Certainly drop your picks there. Give us your comments. You can also reach out to us and you can like us on Twitter, the iFormation. You can also send us an email at the iFormation, the iFormation@gmail.com. And, of course, what else can you do? Well, you can like our Facebook page. You know, so maybe I mentioned that already. It's all good. But certainly, come by our YouTube channel. That's what I wanted to say.
Yes.
The iFormation. So, you know, all those archives are there, weeks past. Come in and see what we had to say. And, of course, you know, we value your opinions. So, that's the show for this week, I guess. Is there anything else you want to say now?
No, that's it.
You sure?
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know, man. I was going to ask you.
I want to say it, but I won't.
You know, that's probably for the best. I admire your restraint. So, all right. Until next week, it's good night for me.
That's good night from him. Have fun.